Shalom Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noah's in his gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a lesson through the spirit. I was kind of meditating on this based on a few conversations the brothers and myself had over the weekend at the camp, which was the Day of Atonement week, which, all brothers was getting messed with. Each and every last one of us, like the scriptures say, that we bear the infirmities of Yahweh Shai. We all go through things mentally, which this battle or this fight or this battle is mainly one of the mind, all right, which is the spirit. It's more mental than physical, because physically you may be able, but this truth is predicated on whether you have a strong mind or not, because you're going to have things that come at you unexpectedly, in the form of financial woes, demonic attacks, which is the biggest one, when the mind is totally plagued with darkness and thoughts that's averse to conducive of healing. A lot of times in this truth, you're going to go through mental battles, man. And oftentimes you have to ask yourself, are you in the right mental space? Because at times, a lot of us, we're not in the right mental space because of the thoughts, like they say, exercise your demons. So here, I just found it funny. Title of this lesson is going to be Satan is in the gym. What you doing? And the reality of that statement is because Satan is constantly trying to get brothers to fall out the truth. Whether it be through certain offenses, certain irritants, certain things that may happen on a job, whether it be financial. That woman is a big one. Okay. And I've noticed in this faith, a lot of times Satan, he comes and works directly through the damn woman. And that makes a lot of sense, because when you go into Genesis, the 3rd chapter, that's what we affectionately call the Gardanian Pact, where basically Satan deceived Eve, or the serpent beguiled Eve into learning the philosophies of that time and basically spewing it upon Adam. And hence we are today. So that woman is a big one who Satan works through, because she's a conduit for Satan. She's like a mediator for him, man. And she allows herself to be. And that's the cold part, because women, they don't oftentimes have the strength to fight these demons off. Or a lot of times they don't even realize that they're under demonic possession because they embrace it. It's like Venom embracing, or Eddie Brock embracing Venom. He totally let it consume him because he likes the way it feels. So it's the same thing, with these women and the truth. So overall, man, you brothers out there, you may be offended at certain things, or you may feel some type of way about certain things, or your mind may be totally playing tricks on you, which is common. Okay, you may have those restless nights. Like, I found out that I wasn't the only one that was losing a little sleep last night because I just couldn't find rest. Last night, Satan tried it, but through the spirit, I was able to fight him off, because for whatever reason, I'm always waking up at 1:30 in the morning. It used to be like 3. Now it's like 1:30. I get like 3 good 4 hours of sleep. Then all of a sudden, someone wake me up. I'll be in deep sleep, like REM, because you need REM sleep. That helps the mind heal. That helps the body heal. But I'm always waking up to like some type of irritant, whether I'm too hot because the comforters, or the heat ain't, or the air ain't working right, or something biting me, or I just got to I got to go to the washroom. That totally breaks your sleep habits. And I remember before I came into the truth, it was nothing for me to get back to sleep. But now, since I've come into the truth and come somewhat of a ways, it's a little harder now, because out of all the disturbances that's going on in the midst, the spiritual realm, and just the things around us. And I stay in a pretty peaceful habitat, surrounded by trees, which they're currently cutting down a lot of them to build up businesses. But I have a plethora of trees in the backyard, decent view. And oftentimes I don't open up the patio door because I don't really get good breeze due to the way that the building is structured in the adjacent building. So you got to catch that breeze every once in a while. And on top of that, there's a lot of bugs out there. And for whatever reason, I think they're attracted to my particular blood type. I don't know. So I don't really open the windows up like that at night, which, is also, a thing of just like precaution as well, which I used to sleep with my windows open, to get that breeze in, but that's recently changed, but neither here nor there. But I'm noticing that I'm woken up in the night a lot, and it's just like, damn, it's hard to catch that sleep. And I look at it as Satan attacking, demonic attacks, because one thing about Jake's, our sleeping habits are horrible, due to the trauma, the situations we're in, and on top of that, the neighborhoods that Jake dwell in, they're totally against Jake because there's no trees out there, there's no form of nature, there's businesses everywhere. You hear cosmic activity, fucking ambulance all up and down the street 2-3 o'clock in the morning. You can't really catch a decent night's rest. This is why sometimes when we go out to the campgrounds, we need that reset. And I'm noticing, like, through a reset, you're able to do a lot more. You're able to work out effectively. You're able to memorize things. You're able to do the lessons effectively when you're not sleep deprived. But that all comes from Satan trying to mess with your mind, man. Sometimes Satan can come in your mind in the form of financial woes. Sometimes you're overloaded or convoluted with bills and debt to the point you can't dig yourself out of hot water. And then sometimes he afflicts you through your body. Sicknesses, whether it be diseases or particular ailments that brothers may have, from back pains to headaches to migraines. Like, a few brothers suffered from migraine last week during the Day of Atonement and couldn't hardly put out any shows because, Satan was attacking their body. But that's all part of this walk, all part of this faith, man. And we have to understand that through the Spirit. Okay, so this is the book of James 5:10, and it says, "And take, my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of Yahushua, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience." Okay, so this whole faith, this whole walk is one of suffering, one of being afflicted, one of going through hardships, because it tells us in the book of Second Esdras that even the righteous shall suffer straits. Okay, and when you go into straits, it goes into positions of difficulties, meaning you're gonna have little inconveniences. I ain't gonna say a little, you're gonna have a lot of inconveniences in this thing. Okay, it's gonna feel like almost that what you do is ultimately sabotaged. Like, have you ever, brothers, had a dream that when you was trying to walk through a door, but it felt like something was grabbing your shoulder and pushing you back? Or you had a dream that you was trying to run and you get to a certain point and it's like your shirt or something would stop you from proceeding forth. And it's almost like that in this faith. Things would be going kind of good, but it's just certain plateaus that you can't necessarily reach because that's like a block, like a force that's stopping you. Which brings me back to the story when we were kicked out of the garden and the Lord set the angels in the garden to stop us from accessing the truth again. So it's kind of like that in so many words. So that's Satan, man. And this is why he's looking at these pictures. Satan is in the gym, and I know this ain't really Satan, but the thing that they did get accurate with this outside of the bull horns was the fact that this is an Edomite. I mean, you look at him, he looks like an Amalekite, man. Or probably an Italian because he got the crazy mustache. But, I mean, Esau, he's red. And this is the whole time Tom and Jerry and all these other cartoons, Bugs Bunny, was trying to give us an illustration on who this man really was. Because when you go into the book of Genesis, it tells you that Esau came out red. And what are the chances that the devil was red? So basically, when you see these devils with pitchforks, this ain't nothing but the Edomite, man. Okay? This ain't spiritual demon Satan. This is the Edomite right here. But nonetheless, spiritual demon Satan works in tandem with the Edomites to bring about certain situations that's inconvenient for Jake. Brother told me, I think over the weekend, he was walking out of a store and he said that a cracker was just kind of mean mugging him, man. Looking at him, giving him a look like, well, what the hell you doing at the store? Like, like he wanted to kill Jake. And that's all part of the affliction. That's those demons, especially living out here in the Midwest, in Missouri and Kansas. They don't really like Jake out here. Like, I just dropped my vehicle off my car to the shop. And, Esau was so in a trench now to the point he hates to see Jake in anything that seems reliable or anything that can get him from point A to point B. And he really hates on us. But I'm talking to this Edomite, man, and I mean, I can see the hatred in his eyes, man. And part of me like, man, I need to take my car and get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no telling what he's going to do to it. But then again, it's like, I ain't even fucking worried about it. It is what it is. But you can feel that tension between us and them. Just the way they looked at us, man, because they see something in us that the world don't have, man. They see that light, they feel that. You know, and the demons in them are aggravated ultimately by our light. It's like when you have a light, you have a bunch of gnats and flies and all this other shit that tries to circumvent around the light, okay, to offset it, but they can't do it because the light in us is stronger than the darkness in them. Like Yahweh Shai said, he said, look, let your light shine before men, you know, and this is what we do by teaching the word and ultimately engaging in the spirit. All right. So anyway, I just got a couple of precepts. This wasn't going to be a long lesson at all, but just to keep in mind that everything that we go through as a unit is not by mere coincidence, man. It ain't you going crazy or bugging out, which it do feel like that sometimes because sometimes you wake up with them thoughts like, man, I don't feel like being fucking bothered. Sometimes you may see a brother and it may aggravate you, you know what I'm saying? But you got to check that shit, you know, unless he done something to aggravate you. But we humans, we get on each other's nerves all the fucking time. We in the flesh. You know, sometimes I hear conversations and I'll be hearing things through the spirit and I'll be paying attention to it. And sometimes I laugh and I shake my head. I'm like, man, these ninjas are simple as hell, man. But I try not to let it get to me because if I let shit get to me every time, I'll just be fucking mad all the time. You know, so you got to wink at certain things. Like Yahweh Shai, he looked at the disciples like, man, these dudes are simple as hell. And we all got our simple moments, man, because we in this damn flesh. You know, and then sometimes brothers have situations that they allow to put them in a situation, and intend they try to use that to their hurt. Like you can't let a situation that you in give you the excuse to be down on yourself or to make you stop trying to be a better Israelite man. You know, like one thing I've learned, you know, when Jake gets locked up and, you know, they get felonies and shit like that, then, you know, of course that is a structured system to keep you out of the workforce and keep you from getting certain benefits in life. But I believe there's ways around everything, you know, and if the spirit is with you, you're going to find a way out of that shit. But a lot of Jakes, they'll use that and say, man, the white man ain't going to hire me. They'll just use that to give up, to have a fucking pity party. And we're not going to play that shit either. You know, there's ways to do things to get what you need in this world without having to necessarily go through the necessary channels, man. There's ways to get things, man. So you can't let certain situations stop you from trying to better yourself in the spirit, man. You know that you have a disadvantage in one area, then, you know, work towards it to getting that situation built up. Don't use that to say, well, since I can't do this and that, I ain't gonna go there. Nah, man, you know, you gotta try. At least do something, you know, because you don't want to be a burden and a liability to other brothers if you don't have to be, or if you don't need to be. Don't be a burden because you can. I put it to you that way. If you're gonna be a burden, let it be out of sheer necessity. Don't be a burden just because you want to be just because you want to be a fucking burden. Nah, bro, because that'll get your ass. That get you cussed the fuck out. Like I don't play that with that taking advantage of the brotherhood shit. We ain't gonna do that. That's one thing that pisses me off if I feel that brothers are being misused or taken advantage of just because. You know, you want to cry about it. I don't want to hear that. That really aggravates my fucking soul, man. You know. So anyway, this is 2 Corinthians 2:11, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's go here. 13, it says, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Yahweh Shai. Now, I just did a lesson, and several brothers did lessons as well, going into this new covenant that these other camps seems to be, they can't seem to understand it, right? So, you know, they're breaking down the scriptures totally wrong, and they're taking things out of context. And then one big one that we've been back and forth about is that M-O-T to the B. Okay, that seems to be a big one that really riles up these other camps because them dudes want to stay here. Okay, they're not teaching that the MOTB is sin because they don't have an understanding of it. They're just in denial because this present evil world is getting ready to be broken down and they're too invested in it. So therefore, they don't want to give that shit up. It's a denial thing. You know, it's a denial thing. That's what I believe. And on top of that, they took the bad. But it reads here, it says, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Okay, because Satan could come to you as being something benefactor. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time it's a damn demon. You know, a demon appeasing to your flesh. Well, yeah, you know, why don't you go ahead and miss camp this week? You know, it ain't gonna do you no harm. You know, you tired, you work. You know what I'm saying? You want to spend time with your girl. You know, The Lord ain't gonna be mad at you if you decide to miss the camp. It's just one day, and then one time you miss one camp for being stupid and giving it to them seducing spirits, and all of a sudden your ass ain't been in the camp in a month, and before you know it, you ain't even out there teaching no more. You back in the world, and that's happened several times, man. You know, this is why I try to push. Don't let lackadaisical or don't let being tired stop your edge, man. Because the minute you slack off, Satan sees that. It's like jujitsu, man. It's called, you got to go for the opportunity. You see something, you go for it. If I can see I can put him in an arm bar, you got to get it quick. Satan looks for the kinks in brother's armor. You know what I'm saying? So if he can see a weak point in you, he's going to capitalize on that and he's going to choke your ass out. Because look, you can't box with Satan, man. Okay, we ain't dealing with spiritual demons, Satan on. We ain't dealing with him. Yahushua dealt with him. Them high level demons, man. We're dealing with demons that's essential to our level. You know, you may have a chicken demon on you, man, versus a brother already overcame the chicken demon. But that's a demon you dealing with. You know, you may have a porn demon on you, you know what I'm saying? A brother may overcame that porn demon, but you struggling with that because that's your fight. You know? You may have an anger demon on you, you know? You may have a sick demon on you. You may have a woman demon on you. A money demon. A demon, a car demon, whatever. It's a demon for every goddamn thing, man. A fucking water bottle demon, man. You know? And I'm just talking right there. But still, you get the point. You have a spirit for everything. I remember a while ago, the apostles made a mention. They said everything has a spirit to it. Okay? And it doesn't mean that it's a living or a living essence inside a fucking bunk bed or a pair of shoes or something like that. But it's the things you get attached to that you start to make a big deal out of it. Like me personally, I believe cars got spirits on them. Cars do have spirits in them. I mean, just the design of it alone, the vibration they come in, the fault breakdown rate, those things have spirits. And I'm not saying it has a actual demon like Christine, like that movie Christine. But then again, shit. Cars have demons on it all the time. They jump on them fucking cars and then the check engine light come on. You know, shit. Hey, I won't be surprised if a fucking car can start itself up and alarms going off. You know, but it's a spiritual world around us all, and everything is subjected into some type of influence. So you have to be careful on what you give your strength into, man. All right. But it says here, marvel not, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end should be according to their works. So you got demons out here that may come in the spirit of being friendly, or they may come in the spirit of being a brother. You know, especially that new covenant demon, you know. That whole thing with them guys months ago, maybe a year ago, 2 ago, you know, they was coming in strong. Now everybody is giving heed to this seducing spirit because there was a spirit behind that. And me personally, I believe that's an excuse for guys to fall out the truth, because when you go down in verses 34, it says no man to teach his neighbor anymore, because we all going to come into assurance of knowledge of the Lord. A lot of these guys teach that doctrine because that's a way that's an excuse so they can get their ass out. That's an excuse to fall out the truth. Because see, dudes, they think they slick. They think they're smarter than Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So they will convince themselves in their mind that they really believe that shit just so they can have an excuse for running out of gas. But you ain't going to be able to stand before Yahweh and say, well, I really thought that we didn't have to teach no more. The Lord going to look at you like, nigga, stop playing with me, bro. Like, depart from me, ye that work iniquity. I ain't never know you. Like, who the fuck you think you fooling? They're trying to pull a fast one on Yahweh Shem Yahushai like the Lord doesn't know your thoughts and your intentions. The Lord know all that bullshit you niggas are doing. Okay, you can fool man, but you can't fool the Most High. You know, so when a guy's teaching that new covenant doctrine and we ain't in the new covenant yet, expect them to fizzle out, because that's the route they gonna go, and I'm guaranteeing you that. You know, but it says, therefore it be no great thing if his ministers also be transformed into the ministers of righteousness, whose end should be according to their works. And this is really going into you false leaders out there. Okay, Luke 22, and I'm gonna start at verses let's start at verses Let's start at verse 28. It says, ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations. Right now, when you look up temptations, okay, where temptation goes into parasemos, which means an experiment, attempt, a trial proving, a trial made of you by my bodily condition, since conditions serve to test the love of the Galatians, a trial, men's infidelity, integrity, virtue, constancy, an enticement to sin, temptations, whether arising from the desires or the outward circumstances. Yeah, it was a situation that happened over the weekend. It was this one harlot, and she was basically trying to entice me, but she was like, she's in a situationship. I'm like, well, I ain't dealing with that. So when I walked out of the restaurant, I guess she felt a little salty because I didn't get her number. I'm like, well, I don't know what the hell you think this is, but we don't do adultery over here. Okay, now a situationship, right? You may say, well, she just fucking somebody. Yeah, that's the point. That's the problem. You're just fucking somebody. Now, what if she was a prostitute or a harlot? And she's like, well, look, this is the price. But all these women are harlots. It's one of those discretional type situations, and that would have because somebody would have like, well, she ain't in the situation, because technically all these women are dealing with somebody, right? That's a fact knowledge, but you don't do anything that will condemn your conscience. So let's just say if I did get the number and decided to go into it, right, do whatever, right, that would have condemned my conscience, because in my mindset, if she's in a situation, that means she's seeing somebody. She just probably not putting claim to it because she's a whore, but that other guy may feel some type of way about her, and I know that. And then let's just say she's doing her thing, and then all of a sudden this dude pops up, then you got a whole goddamn situation on your hand. That's why it's just best to not do it. Satan tried it, but I'm like, nah, bro, it ain't going down like that. Because you had to think about wait a minute, what the fuck, this bitch, she's basically being a hoe. And it's nothing definitive about it. And that's the confusion part about it, because your flesh is like, well, she ain't seeing nobody. But then you let the spirit take over because it's not that deep. So Lord throw little tests at you like that and stuff, which that's women are, right. All these women are through, or something where you come into a job or something like that. You may have a good paying job and they may want you to work weekends during your camp period, and you may be making $20 an hour more on the job than what you do now, and you may need the money. Then that may be your test. Like, fuck, I need this gig. It's an easy gig. It's laid back. I don't do shit, but I have to work on the weekends when we go to camp. And the head of the camp ain't gonna like, well, to accommodate you, we gonna go to camp this day. Now, if we had a big camp and we able to split the camps up into 3 or 4 camps, I have some brothers going out Monday, some brothers going out Wednesday, and the big camp go out on Saturday, and we'll do it that way. That way, everybody can be accommodated to what they need. But, in a smaller camp, it's kind of hard to do that, So that's the benefit about having a huge camp, because certain brothers do work on the weekends. Certain brothers just work overnight, and it may interfere with their day they go out. So they go out on a Tuesday or Wednesday, as long as the work is being done, So little things like that. And those examples of integrity and enticement to sin, and we all have those. So that's why I labeled it Satan is in the gym. What you gonna do? Okay. Matter of fact, let's go from here to Mark's. No. What is it? Matthew's 4, the 4th chapter. It says the temptation of Yahushai. It says, then was Yahushai led up of the spirit unto the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. Now this is a spiritual demon, Satan. It says, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was after it and hungered, okay? But the key was he fasted on it. So if you find yourself being taken by temptations, it's probably wise to go into fasting and prayer. However often you need to do, even if you're fasting once a week, twice a week, whatever, just to kind of exercise those demons. Because when Yahushua went up to the disciples and he was like, well, why couldn't we cast these out? He said, well, this comes not about but only fasting and praying. So some demons you're going to have to get off you by fasting. Even a sick demon, like when you have a sickness on you, the best thing about having a demon on you and you're sick, if it's fucking with your body, is fast, because fasting heals the body. And some demons you can only get off you if you only fast. Fast and pray and eat the right shit, and the demon is lifted off you. Okay, but some demons, they just, some shit you just got to deal with. But it reads here, and it says, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was after it. He was after it and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man should not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High. Okay, so that's the point. You got to be in the word, pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Hey, the Lord's Prayer, say it in Hebrew, or if you don't know the Hebrew, recite it in English till you learn the Hebrew. you know. But those are just ways you can deal with that. Ephesians 6, verses 10. And it reads, it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahushua in the power of his might, and put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Okay, and once again, put on armor, praying, fasting, and just getting close to Yahushua, because them demons are going to come. Okay, they going to come. They going to mess with you. They going to find ways to fuck with you and aggravate you, even if it's just through people. I mean, what I find out lately is that road rage is a heavy demon. You know, people getting put to death on the streets because of their road rage. You know, which spirits are on people. Motherfuckers hopping out, running people off the roads, hitting people, shooting, driving off the roads, all types of stuff, man, because everybody is on edge, because the collapse of this kingdom is near. And it reads, it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, governments, right? Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and have you done all to stand. And the evil day is talking about Jacob's trouble. Okay? It says here, stand therefore, having your loins girt about you with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, and above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you may be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High, praying with always with prayer and supplications in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all preservation and supplications of the saints, man. So that's how you defeat those demons. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna end it. Didn't want it to be too long, but I'm gonna give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify. Until the next lesson. Shalom.